Alright, so hello and welcome to a one-off episode of DiploStrats. We occasionally do move away from diplomacy and play a couple of other games. Today, I'm going to be playing a game called League of Legends, which was recommended to me by the good users in our Discord. This is kind of a diplomacy-adjacent game. It's not heavily negotiation-focused, but it does have some press in it. Now, as you can see right now, I'm on the country selection screen. This game actually has a mechanic where you can ban other people from selecting certain powers. So in this case, I'm going to ban what I think is one of the more powerful ones. So we'll just get rid of Garen in this case. It would be kind of like being able to say, hey, you can't play Turkey or France in an actual game, which would be fantastic, right? I kind of love this idea. Now, we're going to move into a kind of Paris selection method. You can see people are picking their countries in a certain order. I don't love that I'm having to pick near the start here. In fact, look, it looks like I am not actually having to pick right now, which is great. But the important thing here is that some people are going to know what power I've picked in advance, some people are not. I've had a couple of games here just to check how things work exactly, and I've found that this character in particular is a really great one to lock in. So they have a habit of being able to scoot more under the radar, which is also always like a great idea just in any kind of diplomacy game, just to make sure that no one can take you out in the early game, right? You don't get that early leader syndrome. Now, if you look, people are actually pre-game negotiating in this game. It's not against the rules here. I really don't like it, so I'm going to go ahead and tell them, hey all, I'd prefer to keep negotiation until the game starts, if that's alright. Just seems more fair. Right, so, now, it's just like, if you're able to negotiate during the country selection process, it kind of ruins the whole thing just a bit, in my mind. I don't love it. And as you can see, it's probably not in their meta, given the that people refuse to do that, which might disadvantage me in negotiations later on, but we'll see. I really just don't like corrupting the game itself like that. Now, soon we're going to be jumping into the actual game. And I'll be explaining a bit about how this game works and how you can really go in and, like, I mean, I say go in and win. I haven't won one of these yet, technically, but I think I've done pretty well, and I feel like, you know, I've got the gist of how you're supposed to go in and how you would react to certain things happening here. So you can see lots of all the different country selects here. One of the super interesting things about this variant is that there are like 80 or more different countries that you can select, and they put them on the board when you start the game, depending on what you've selected, right? So it's not like a standard diplomacy board where you have countries locked in from the start. The game depends on what countries you have picked. So now we've loaded into the map itself. I'm going to talk about the press a bit to start, because it's probably the most important thing here, right? It's a little bit rudimentary. So as you can see, we've got team chat. And team chat enables you to chat with the 4 players who started close to you. So it's kind of like a fog of war variant here, where you're only able to talk to the people you've met off the bat, and I really like that mechanic. However, there is also all chat, which just types to everyone, including the people who started on the other side of the map. So I'm going to go ahead and send a quick message here, just say, good luck, and looking forward to playing with you all. Just because establishing that kind of base level of politeness and willingness to play with people is a great thing to start the game off. And you see, we've got a few replies. Where are you? It seems like people like you entering your moves very early in this variant, which is a bit different to standard diplomacy, of course, where you'd have you'd kind of want to talk first before deciding exactly what you want to do. Here, I'm gonna go ahead and control maybe this one. Oh, okay, so I'm being asked for support here. Who is that? That is here, I think? Or maybe here. Oh, you are being dived. Okay, so it's this player. So this player wants me to help them to take this supply center right here. Or maybe this one here? They haven't pinged. I'll actually ask, do you want the support to the turret in front or behind? So there's a few different supply center types in this variant. You have these ones, which are called turrets. They seem to be the ones that everyone obsesses on controlling, and I don't really get it that much, right? Because it's not incredibly helpful to control these. As you can see, we've got sort of these... So we've got some degree of control over this one right now. I think I've supported them enough. Alright, I am gonna go and try and take my own ground now. Alright, gonna take my own dots now. So I've got a few different options for this. I prefer to take the ones that are in the jungle. So as you can see, these kind of areas, they're much less heavily contested than the front lines. So people are fighting over these turret spots so much that they don't really pay attention to places like this, right? So if I go ahead and claim this one, you can see on the map now that I have a supply center in this region. I also have another supply center, and it might not be immediately obvious where that is. I'll go back and see it actually. But in this case, it's this one right here. This is called the Nexus, and it works as a supply center that's kind of unlike anything in standard diplomacy. We have, in this supply center, if you control this supply center, you are able to respawn your army as much as you like. It acts as your home supply center, essentially. If you lose this army, then you'll be able to respawn it here in the winter phase and then move forward. However, it acts as that for everyone who started in this region. So 5 different people have their home supply center here, which actually makes for a really interesting dynamic. The question is, do I want to allow this thing to stand for the entire game because it respawns my units? Or do I want to try and take it out at some point or another, right? Do I want to go ahead and remove the ability for the other people who started on my side of the field to spawn their own units? And that's a really interesting dilemma that I think could be more explored in this variant, because what it actually does, especially with regard to this team chat, right, this whole thing of you're only really able to talk to the people on your side or everyone, you can't talk individually to other people, it makes people very willing to just team up with the people who are on their own side at the start. It kind of forces you into that. I would prefer it to be a little more dynamic. Now, as you can see, they're giving me some nice advice here, telling me to spend my gold. I completely forgot about this. You are able to upgrade your units in this variant. So I'm going to buy this World Atlas Start, which I believe provides my character with a little more abilities. This might be extra movement speed. I'm not 100% sure. I'll figure that out later. And then I'll be able to do a bit more here. So as you can see, this unit here has respawned. Hey, could I please get a support down here? And I'm gonna send a ping. Oh wait, hang on, it hasn't respawned. Just to... just to enable me to try and take this region. And in fact, okay, actually, oh, I didn't realize nobody had taken that yet. Now, this player is kind of demonstrating what you want to not do in a negotiation game, which is demand that the other person do a certain thing. So if you... okay, I am gonna go down and help, just to make sure that they're happy with me. But the way that they're negotiating here is really showing that they're not very happy with... But the way that they're negotiating here is really showing that they're not perhaps my best ally in this game, right? They're going to make more demands of me than I'm really going to want them to. So if someone else wants to help me out, I'd be much happier just going with them. So I'm going to go ahead and take this supply center. It seems like they have gone, and actually they really didn't like, you left the center open, sorry. I figured it was worth, it was fine to take. So here I'm gonna just apologize for what I did, of course, walking into their turret supply center behind their back, but I really think that establishing my control over this area, as well as this area, is really providing me with a great... Oh, wait, okay, this is a really important thing. So neutral units do sometimes spawn here. And we're gonna have to be really careful of this because they can take your supply centers off you. So as we can see here, I'm gonna go ahead and try and take these neutral units out so that I maintain control of this supply center. Could I get support, please? Oh my god, okay, so those neutral units apparently turn into more neutral units. Now, I think I need to be more specific on who I'm talking to. So who are my teammates here? We've got You Are Being Dived, who clearly doesn't like me all that much, right? And then we also have, say, Oliu Gamer, or Maps22, or EKFN, or hey, I could ask the people who started on the other side for some assistance. So, the problem with that is if I ask them, I have a feeling that they're going to go... that because everyone else will see that I'm asking them, they'll want me... Oh. Because everyone else will see that I'm asking them, they'll think that I'm kind of betraying the side, and I really don't want to do that before anyone else has, right? So I'm gonna try and establish a rapport with a specific person on my side before we go over to the other. I'll just go ahead and say hello. It seems like you're on the back foot. Would you like some help? Oh, app dived, I guess I should say. Just because, of course, I need to make it, right. Do I need help with Krugs? Yes! Thank you. Okay, so I have some help here. So Maps is giving me the support that I wanted on this supply center. I have abandoned Mr. Dived down there. That's alright. I really just need... I need to prioritize my own interests a little bit more than his. I will come support next phase. Right. So let me just claim this region. Perfect, thank you. Thank you. At Maps, would you like to work together long term? I think this kind of immediate cooperation would be fantastic. Well, yeah, okay. I will go ahead and move with this player. Try and establish more of a rapport there, and like really make sure that they're in my corner, so that in... Ah, here we go. So this is actually going really well. I think I have a really solid ally here now. So I'm just gonna follow them around. In fact, they didn't even claim the supply center, so I'm gonna do so, and move along. As you can see, they are waiting for me here. You can have this one. Right. Because you already gave me two. I don't want to be too big too early. Alright. So yeah, we've got this. This one is one of the more interesting characters, I think. It's called Blue Buff, which...
Your turret has been destroyed.
Okay.
An enemy has been slain.
Right, so I need to establish more of a rapport now. I think I'm going to go and talk to this one. Hi. And see if we can work together on something. Shall we work together on the middle forward? See whether that works. Of course, it's fully possible they won't want support. If they're confident they can take it together anyway, they might not need to. Okay, right. Terminology here is a little different, so... Turret, sorry. They have just left. No, they are in this area. Right, so you can see my diplomacy nature is happening here. Okay, wait, hang on. That was mapped telling me that. God. I didn't really want to make them unhappy with me. Okay, so as you can see, I lost my unit there on the front line. It's not too bad. I think, as mentioned, I can just build it here in the winter phase, which isn't terrible. Damn, that attack came out of nowhere. Right. So I think I need to go and help Maps again, just to make sure we establish that relationship. I really wanted to get Gamer on side as well, but I'm not sure that's happening. They didn't seem to be immediately... Wait, is Map trying to ally them as well? Yeah, they are working together too. That's worth keeping an eye on, because it's clear that Mapped isn't necessarily my friend here, right? If they're working with other people too, they're clearly not as like, in my corner as I thought they were. I think I'm gonna try and make friends with the outsider here, the EKFN, who's been working on these top lane dots. In fact, I think he just lost his. So he might be desperate and more in need of a friend. In fact, he's come down to the middle as well. Now, this is what you really don't want to see, right? Everyone working together on one region, it kind of just means that you've got a lot of units tied up, and no one's really gonna go anywhere. You don't really want to stalemate in a game like this, especially when you have 10 players in the game. You want to be making progress using that bottleneck of everyone in the middle, just to make sure that someone, that you're making progress somewhere else. So if I'm gonna go ahead here and see if I can grab this top lane dot, we will go ahead and take this one. And then continue moving forward here. So we do have to deal with some of the enemy units in the meantime. Would anyone like to help with the north dot? We might need that. We are losing mid. I mean, see, I'm not sure how to respond to that, because I don't want to make them lose their focus on mid. I would really like to claim these dots for myself and, like, use the distraction mid in order to expand my own power. So I'm like, I'll go on. Keep up the... Oh, that's a misspelling. You can't have a misspelling. Keep up the good fight. I think you'll get there soon. Okay. So now I'm kind of stabbing... Uh-oh. Okay, well, it would appear that they did have more strength than me in that particular region. I probably should have had some support there, just to make sure that I could take that center. Trying to go for it with one unit really wasn't a great idea, but this does provide me the chance to buy a little more. You can see that I can buy this Lost Chapter and Blasting one, just upgrade my unit a bit more. Means that I should be more likely to take those one-on-one fights. Now, it looks like people are starting to spread out across the map here. In fact... Asking for assistance. Where is the, asking for assistance? Ah, that's this person. Okay. You do know that we're on the same team, right? Yeah. yeah, I'd love to keep working with you. So here, I'll help you take this dot. And then hopefully we can barter something out of this. Honestly, I'm not expecting this player to love what I'm doing here. But hey, if I help them, then we can probably... okay, I've been attacked by 2 units here. Right, so again, to coordinate... you should have support held. We could have fought that, dude. Okay, sorry, I'm getting unreasonably angry at that. Just because, like, I'd gone in and showed willing that I was happy to, like, work with them, and then they decided to just not. Okay. I think that's just another language, one that I don't really know, so I can't negotiate back with them. Right. I need to stay calm. I need to make sure that I re-establish this relationship and don't let him get to me. In fact, I can upgrade my unit even more. That's fantastic. Right, so, let's all go in for a supported attack here. See, this seems to be working really well. We can actually destroy an enemy supply center here, so that's an excellent start. I think we need to go ahead and push this. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and see if I can take this. At that, could I have some assistance? Because, of course, Maps is the player I know likes me. I think they're a great person to work with here. Gonna go ahead and try and take this dot over here. After winter. Sorry. Right. So, it looks like there's not very much for me to take right now. Okay. Well, I can go ahead and take this region. Just make sure that if those neutral units respawn, I'm here to go with it. This seems like an important region to control. Alright. You locked in support, you need to support. Alright. Support is a mutual thing. I'd really like to help you achieve your goals, but you'll also need to help me with mine. Alright. So they are right now going for the Nexus, it looks like, which is a little more of a problem here, because if they take that out, I obviously can't rebuild my units. And this is what I was saying earlier about how I really hate the way that they've kind of limited the strategy space in this game by sort of forcing you to align with people who started on your side. Because theoretically this is an amazing dilemma, right? You are forced to consider, when do I go for this? But in reality, the side that loses their Nexus first is almost certainly, like, all of them are gonna lose. Which sort of just takes away any player agency in that case, right? Teemo head straight to, hell isn't on this map. Right, so I am going to try and defend the Nexus here. If it does go down and then I die, then I am out of the game, which is a problem. I will just go ahead. Any of you want to work with us? Oh, damn. Alright. It didn't seem like it went all that well in the long run. You can see our Nexus went down, and then we had significant problems as a result of that. But hey, it was a pretty good run in general. I think my real problem was not committing hard enough to the alliance with Maps. I really think we could have gone the distance with that, and you saw just how strong Benji Stick was, right? Benji Stick absolutely dominated, killed me multiple times. That was because I wasn't talking in all chat and reaching across the aisle, really trying to put my all into those negotiations. It just didn't really work all that well at the end of the day, for me at least. And so we kind of lost. But hey, when you first start out with a game, you're going to lose plenty of times. You have to use that as experience to get better. Whatever the case, this has been an amazing game. I'm really glad to have tried it out. Thank you to those on our Discord who suggested it. I'm going to keep trying it, see if I can get a little bit better. You might see it on the channel in the future, if I do. So thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you next time.